So I'm Tony Dixon. I'm from Corning Software. A lot of y'all there know me. This is my associate Nick, who works with me at Cool Running Software. Nick is actually quick thing about Nick. Nick actually worked at the ice company at my ice company with me. Bagged ice, delivered ice. Went to college while I was at Olmsted Ice. Got a degree in marketing and has been helping me out at Cool Running Software for quite a while right now. And Nick is actually the one responsible for push me into the webinar category to provide more information for our clients out there. So what we're going to be, we'll be doing a lot of talking. We've been doing these webinars to give more information about the software. A lot of you all and I'm looking at the list right here. A lot of you all really know a lot about the software and the stuff that we're going to show today, but maybe there might be a couple things that we discuss today that you didn't really know before. So I'll let Nick go ahead and talk here for a little bit. Him and I are just going to kind of tag team through this webinar for you all today. So Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, so this was something that we wanted to do as we prepared you guys for the busy season. This is going to be our last webinar before the summer, and this one's going to be focused on order entry, just getting those orders in there right, so that all the information that's entered one time can flow through your system and always be there. So, like Tony said, Tony, that was a good introduction of myself. Yeah, I did work in the ice industry. For all those who don't know me, I work in marketing and support. So, putting these webinars together, I'm very thankful that you guys have all joined. It's been from the first one to now, it's been continuing to grow. So I thank you guys for all showing up before we get started. In the agenda, we're going to kind of cover a few things, the difference between orders and sales. Sometimes we see that being commonly confused when we're talking to customers. How to set up your customers properly so that all their info's in there. And then the different roles that each person's working in Cool Running Software. We have dispatchers, people who are taking calls and ordering or entering orders, and how all those orders will flow through the system from each role. We'll end it with a live Q&A and just hear you guys' questions. So thank you guys for coming. We'll get started now.
Okay, so I'm going to be first off, we're going to go over these different parts of what's the difference between orders and sales, and this is something that I've run into a lot when working with different clients, new clients, and sometimes people will confuse like a sale with an order. When we refer to an order is actually a request for a delivery. And actually, the system actually creates an actual order ID for every one of these orders, and these orders are go against a transaction or an invoice or sale that goes against it. And that's kind of how when we're looking inside the system, that's how we know when certain orders are created through different methods of Cool Running Software, how we know that these orders are being completed for the customers. It's not as simple as just like generating a list of customers on a certain day and just going out and making the sales. One has to cross-reference with the other. So when the order's created, it can be created, entered, scheduled, or it can be either done. The order can be created in a few different ways. It can be created when it's entered, manual entering, scheduled, or even just dragged in. Now, any type of those different scenarios, which we'll go over, an order ID is created for each one. Versus a sale, when the sale's created, it's created at the time of delivery. That's when the invoice is created against that order. As I said earlier, each order has its own ID associated with versus an invoice has its own invoice number or receipt number generated to it. Where are the orders inside the system? Well, they're inside your RouteBuilder. They're inside your RouteBuilder and your order maintenance. Basically, any place that you see the order ID, and there's several different places that you can access an order inside Cool Running when it's generated, and actually open up that order, get back into it, create it, edit it, view it, and whatever. The invoices obviously are inside your invoice area, sales maintenance, and such. Customizable. So these orders are very customizable, and this is something I'm probably going to say a few times when I'm talking today, is everything starts at the order process of setting up your orders properly inside the system. Okay, and then everything flows off of that. Create the orders, and the orders are generated against the invoices. Um, so how are orders generated inside the system, either through the office, through the dispatcher, schedule manager, either through the integration with the sensors, or even our new cool portal. Okay, so Nick, we can move on
Yeah,
from there.
so basically what Tony was saying there too is just the orders are your paper trail within the system. So if you guys are putting these in there correctly, all the information that should be attached to an order is going to flow through your system, and you'll be able to, like, for a merchandiser. There's a merchandiser on an order. Well, that's going to be affected in your merchandiser tracking, and you're going to have track of all that if you just order them properly one time. Sales obviously are just when that driver makes the sale on site. So we're going to kind of go over the best way to get started. If you're starting from ground zero with this, or if you're auditing, yourselves before a busy season, is starting with the customer setup. In the customer setup, these are set your defaults for each location. Your communication notes that a driver needs to see every single time they show up for a stop. Receiving hours, right? That's directly affects how you guys are going to route. Are the receiving hours in there or are they not? Um, Pricing, billing, the products you're assigned to the client, to the customer, surcharges, all those things. If those are filled out to the max, your orders will flow through the system, without having to do much editing. So I'm going to switch the screen now. We're going to pull up an actual customer and kind of show where all those things are located,
Mhm.
and I'll have Tony walk you guys through that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, Nick. Okay. So, and again, a lot of you've got people here that I'm seeing in this call today. A lot of y'all know a lot of this stuff already, and I always think that like the real way of learning a system is by doing it. But I'm going to kind of go over these different areas. So first off, default order notes. So Nick, scroll down a little bit, and let's discuss that default order notes we talked about. Now, what's a default order note? And I see a lot of companies that don't actually use this to its full capabilities. A default order note is something that's defaulted on the customer itself. And as soon as an order in the system is created, that default order note automatically populates the order delivery note. Okay, this is a pretty valuable tool for you. It's like you can see right here, this particular customer, that note hit the order every time an order is created for this Mark store. Is one of my best accounts that I had when I had my ice company. So that note was on the order every single time, versus the default driver note. A driver note is a static note that's with the location anytime you pull up a customer inside the handheld or in the system. Okay, that's static to the customer. You don't even have to need an order. That's a static note. Okay, and you can see right here, we also, and some people don't even know that this is in there now. This was actually added a while back, so scroll up a little bit, Nick. Receiving hours. You guys can put these receiving hours in the system now. Okay. Hey, Nick, let's real quick put in, and I want to show something here. Nick, put 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. And for those of you who are actually looking to do this, if you see that little double-sided arrow right there, makes it really easy to put them in. Okay, so you can quickly just put in receiving hours. What's nice about this is if your drivers are out there going to make a delivery that little location, the handheld will hit them up right away. Okay, to warn them. Okay, so moving on to routing and dispatching. Okay, so obviously delivery zones very important. So that way you're separating your orders as they're coming in and filtering them into specific areas as they're coming in. So setting up proper delivery zones, that's really good, really helpful for your company. I've seen a lot of delivery zones where they're very, very large. So when a lot of orders come in, it ends up being this huge alphabetical list. If you filter it out into different areas, it really helps your dispatchers. Okay, routing priorities. Um, yeah, I don't think I want to go too much into that. Assigned merchandisers, obviously seeing assigned merchandisers in the system. Um, and this here, we're just kind of go over the handheld, customer listing real quick. Assigned products, very important here. This goes back to about making your putting in orders more efficient. When you go ahead and assign specific products to the customer, okay, this way here, if you ever do an order in the system or create an order in the system, these products come up immediately. I have some clients out there that just go off a full product list and they're looking through all the products and picking them when they're making the delivery. It should be assigning those products and the correct pricing in the system. Same thing with another thing with surcharging is very, very important with your order entries. So Nick, flip over to the pricing area. And I actually have a lot of clients that aren't using this feature, and it's pretty helpful. being able to create surcharges in the system. That way, there, when you create orders or even sales in the system, the automated surcharge fee hits the handheld. Now, this is something that's really important right now going on with obviously with the volatility of fuel. Okay. I have a lot of clients out there that are just going across the board and putting percentage surcharges out there. So that way there they can adjust for these fuel volatility that's going on there on a day-to-day basis just by using the surcharge features. Okay. And you can do percentage surcharge, flat fee surcharge, or the gap surcharge. And some people don't even know that this is out there right now. But the gap surcharge is a way of making sure that when you do a sale, if you need a minimum amount of money on a sale, like $100, they got to buy $100 no matter what. You can assign that to a location. So that way, there, when you're actually doing a delivery location and the sale falls short, let's say they only buy $80 from you, the gap surcharge fills the gap, puts a $20 in. So again, these are all things that if you set these things up right, it really helps with the order process when you're creating the orders or sales, and it fills these things in so that way there it's set up correctly. Okay. Finally, purchase order field, another area that's underutilized. Uh, Obviously, you can assign a purchase order to a customer, and that purchase order is going to be on every single bill. But what's nice about the purchase order feature is you can do it across the board on a customer, or you can when you're actually putting in a physical order in the system, you can make the PO number specific to that order. So, for instance, if you're delivering to a Costco or a BJ's Wholesale Club or a Sam's or a specific construction site, you can either make it a static across the board PO or on the individual order, which we're going to do we're going to do a few live orders in the system here later. Okay, so Nick, I'm kind of done going over that area. Let's move on.
All right, so yeah, and that basically covers the baseline for what you guys will be operating with when you guys are entering in orders, right? So we're gonna go over the different types of orders now. So we have auto orders in the system, right? Which is something that we just covered in our last webinar. More so having to do with routing. These are orders that are auto created on a schedule that you choose. So if all that customer information is set up properly, these auto orders are being generated. And you're not going to have to go back, edit, and mess with it. It's all going to be in there and just make you guys so much more efficient. Now, there are 5 different types of manual orders, which I'll have Tony go over here, that you guys can actually enter into the system, whether you are a dispatcher or someone just answering the phones, entering in orders.
Okay. All right, great. So Nick was discussing the auto orders, which we did a webinar just recently. Now, this right here, these are the different types of orders and different ways that orders can enter the system, which I'm going to be demoing here in a moment. You got your hotshot order. Okay, your hotshot order is just real quick. Just put it just when you're doing an order entry, you hit that hotshot. It just creates an order ID, no notes, nothing, just puts it in the system. A full order entry. This is when you can really get detailed on these specific orders. You're entering an order through the order entry screen. You're putting in notes. You're putting in delivery times. You're putting in delivery instructions, prioritization, assigning merchandisers to the order. And again, I'm going to do a demo of that, my demo of that too. And repeat again. Putting in these orders correctly for the first time really makes everything flow. Sensor dispatch orders. This is when you're using a sensor integration. Anybody out there that's using sensors out there and using the cool running integration with the different sensors that are on the market, being able to look through the sensor integration and just tagging which places are going to need a delivery, which again creates new order IDs in the system. The drag and drop dispatcher. And I have some clients out there that use this method a whole 100%. They know their customers 100%, and they go right inside the route builder and they just drag and drop customers into routes. Now, what's the thing is about this, and some people don't know this, as soon as you drag and drop from the all customers list in the route builder screen, that too creates an order ID. It isn't just putting a name on a route. It's actually creating an order ID that needs to be satisfied. It needs to be delivered. And if it's not going to be delivered, it's not going to be done, it needs to be removed. Okay. And then of course we have the customer generated the cool portal, which we did a webinar recently on the new feature that's in our system for your customers of being able to go into their own personal customer portal and creating their own orders and those orders flowing into the cool running route builder system. Okay. So those are your different types of orders. All right, Nick, I'm gonna move on.
So we split this off into two different roles, right? So if you're answering phone calls, you're going to have your dedicated screens for that. You're going to have your order entry, the maintenance. You're going to be in Cool Portal if you guys have that enabled in your system. Responding to orders, entering them in. So we're going to show that really quick. We're going to show those screens and how to enter those in there properly through that, and then we'll go and we'll switch over to the dispatcher role because everything can be done from the route builder screen itself. So I'm going to switch screens here, and Tony's going to walk through that.
Okay. Okay, so Nick, I'm sharing my screen now, right?
I'm taking this one, and then
Okay.
on the back end.
Okay. So,
So I'm going to order entry right now.
okay. All right. So you want to enter the order?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
just walk through it.
All right. So, yeah. So we have these different types of order. I think we're gonna do the hot shot order first.
Yep.
Okay. So let's just pick a random customer. Well, what's a hot sh this is a hot shot order scenario. Okay. So let's just 100 bounty. I don't think you're gonna be able to use. Let's pick somebody that I know is not gonna have a delivery on. Use Boston Mill Ski Resort. Let's do that one. Okay. Sure. All right. Now just clicking the hot shot. Just go ahead and do that, Nick. Okay. And you'll see that just immediately just created an order. And we're going to flip over to RouteBuilder and show what that did here in a second. Okay. Now, one thing I want to show right here is I'm going to show what happens if you try and do another order for the exact same customer again. Go ahead, Nick. Now watch what happens if Nick tries to do a hot shot. Okay. That selected order already has a pending order. Okay, so what it's telling you right there is this order already has an order in play for this week. Okay, so that's important to know because you don't want to end up doubling up these orders. Okay, all right. So Nick, what's our next one?
Oh, we're going to go to order maintenance.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we'll do that. We'll do that order
Yep.
that we just created.
Okay. So there's that order that was just created, and you can go ahead and make an edit to that particular order. Because the
Yeah. So if
system.
it's a sorry, Tony.
No, go
If
ahead.
it's a hot shot order, you can edit it at any time. So just because it was created as a hot shot, you can go in, you can say, okay, they just called again, they want to add products. They just called again, it's at a different address. You can go in and edit that and make those changes when you need to.
Okay. All right. So now let's do a manually created order, Nick. Okay, we're going to do a manual order here that's going to have we're going to put a whole bunch of different type of stuff on it. So let's go ahead and pick West Side Irish American. Okay, so this customer here, you're entering an order for this customer. Okay, so what's going to happen see that little bar up there, guys? That little pink bar, that's telling me there's already an order in play. So I have to make a decision when I see that little bar. If I have to make a decision if I'm going to create a whole new order for this customer or I'm going to edit that current order. Okay, so that's something important to note. Note, whoever's handling your order entry, when they see that bar, that's an indicator to them that they have to make a decision on what they're going to do, make a new one or edit a current one. All right, so this customer right here. Let's do everything on this one, Nick. Okay, we're going to delivery date for today. Put a requirement on that for today, Nick. Okay, so that's going to put a marker on that's got to be done today. Let's put in a delivery time. Okay, so we're specifying a delivery time. Good. All right, leave the alternate address alone. So, all right, so put in.
Yep.
Okay, so go in and put in a note, deliver model 40 and fill up with ice. And you can put in. I used to put in a lot of details into my orders. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and put in a PO number 2. So this is a PO number that is specific to this order. Okay, so go ahead and hit continue. All right, so now the system automatically defaults to restocks, but we know exactly what this order is going to get. So let's go ahead and specific items and quantities. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick some 20-pound bags. And let's go ahead and picked on the and yeah. Go ahead. Well, Nick, why don't you add a model 40 rental on there too?
Okay.
This is my test system, so it's got a lot of extra stuff in it. Okay. So one, and you'll see right there, guys, it automatically added a surcharge fee on there. I could actually add more surcharge fees specific on this order too. So Nick, why don't you go ahead and click add again and just pick another surcharge. You can add, and this
Delivery
is
fee, $5.
specific to that order. Okay, so now what we're also going to do on this particular order is we're going to add a merchandiser drop off to this. So go ahead and do a merchandiser delivery. Choose a model 40. Scroll down a little bit. Good. All right, and we're going to put in the pickup date. Put in the pickup date for Saturday. Okay. So, this is what I was saying before. When you're doing your order entry, if you guys do this right from the start, when you're putting the order in, everything about that order will be there waiting for you when that day comes, and you can see everything that's coming. So this one here, I did a lot. I put everything on this thing, and I also put that they're getting an ice chest, and I put the pickup date in. Now, all that you have to do is dispatch it to the driver, and the handheld will walk him through the whole thing, and the sale will be made. The merchandise will be dropped off. The pickup date will be set. Hit continue. Now, here's another thing here that I recommend to people to do is you can email this right out to the customer right away. So they can actually view exactly what you are planning to do. So choose download and let's download this thing, Nick. Again, this is another thing that a lot of my clients don't use.
It's not going to share, but here.
Okay. All right, no big deal. Anyways,
Yeah.
that would bring up an actual estimate and tell you everything that I just entered, so you can send it out for them, so the customer can review it, and if there's any problems, they can obviously let you know. Okay, Nick, let's do another one here. Oh, perfect.
So you want to switch over? Let's switch to the dispatcher first, and then we'll loop back around.
Let's do it for another one more order. I'm gonna do a catering order first.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So the next one here we're going to do is a lot of you all will make deliveries to catering events or even just a random special event, that's going to a residence or things like that. So we're going to deliver to Taste of Excellence Catering. This is a catering outfit that I did a lot of special events for. Actually, pick a generic one, Nick. Pick the generic Taste of Excellence right there towards second from the bottom.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. So Taste of Excellence just called me up and they're asking for ice to be delivered to a specific place. Hit continue. So we're not delivering to the Taste of Excellence main office. We are delivering specific to a specific address for this order. So Nick, go ahead and do the alternate. Yep. And Nick, why don't you put your house, put your address. This
Public
is going.
info. I don't know.
This is going to Nick's house. Okay. Um, and go ahead and yeah, just put deliver to Nick. Okay. Hit continue. Now, Nick, put specific items and quantities. Okay. Add them in. Okay, good. Put 20 in, 20, how about 20 bags? Now, Nick has already paid for it. So, Nick, why don't you mark that as prepaid? Okay, you can leave it as terms for right now. Yeah, check is fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so this sale, not only is it going to Nick's house, he's already given me the money for it too. So this has already been done and paid for. So go ahead and finish that one out, Nick. Okay, so Nick, you wanted to flip over to dispatch?
Yep. Just to show those orders in the system, and then how you can edit them within the dispatcher screen.
Mhm.
So these are your manual orders. Here's that Boston Mills Ski Resort. You can go in, click right on that order number, and get straight to the order maintenance from there as a dispatcher. You can also go in. We have this legend here. There's a bunch of these icons on pretty much every order that's being created within the system. These are showing up in this screen, but they're also going to be showing up on the driver screen as well.
Yeah.
The legend right here. If you ever have a question about what those are, just click on that legend in the top left, and this just kind of gives you all that there is to it. Should I put these on route,
And
Tony?
Nick, yeah, Nick, run your mouse over each icon. If you run your mouse over the icons too, they also tell you what they are. Okay, good. So Nick, double click on that West Side Irish American Club. Now, West Side, this is one that I did put everything on. And you can see it's got a lot of details in there about it, exactly what they're going to get. It also says there it's getting an ice chest. And you'll notice that there was an icon on there that indicated they're getting an ice chest. And go ahead and scroll up, Nick, and show. And also in the order info, if you guys ever want to know who the person was that entered this order so you can go back to them, you can see that. And you can see the order ID is right there again. So if we need to make an edit on this, you can. Go back to the notes. And also, this is something that I think is pretty important. You guys can go in and edit the notes on the fly. Okay, so when your drivers are out there and you want to give them something to know, what I used to do, especially when it was crazy busy, I knew if I knew a truck, there was no way he was going to be able to finish a route based on how the calls were coming in. 1, 2 o'clock, because I knew I'd be busy. I might go off to one of his stops later in the route and say, call me when you get to this stop and let me know exactly what you have left. I would type it in one time right here and I'm done. Okay. This is what, this is all about the order stuff and not having to make texts and phone calls and things like that. All right, great. All right. So Nick, why don't we, what do you want to do a sensor order?
Yep.
Okay, good. So now we're going to go into how we can create an order strictly from sensors. Okay. So go ahead and click on the sensors. Now, obviously, my sensors have been down since October of 2020. Okay, so that's after I sold the company, and that's why all these are showing up as pink. But you'll get the idea. So you can see in here that all the sensors are all separated by their different zones. Okay, this is where I'm going back to why zoning is so important. So these are sensors that I have in each specific zone. So what Nick is going to do is he sees that Sunoco Rapid stop and that one right there. I want to go to those two stops. All I got to do is click on them and hit create order. Okay. And then we go back into RouteBuilder.
Taking a second here.
No problem. Good. Those
Right in that
orders are
delivery
those
zone.
orders are automatically inside the system. Okay, great. And then of course we had yeah, you can
One
see
note
where,
here as
oh
well,
yeah, thank
sorry,
you, Nick.
Tony,
Yeah, go
is
ahead. That's right.
just the asset number and then the sensor readings are automatically put right into the notes
Hmm.
there for that dispatcher. So if they ever need to recheck it, and then as it flows through, these are also in there for the driver.
Good. All right. And then of course we have we had that webinar on the Cool portal there. I could see there's one order in there that came in from the Cool portal.
Mhm.
Yep, right there, two
That's
stabs.
that phone icon, customer created.
Yep, that actually came in. The customer actually requested that order from their own personal customer portal, and that flowed into the route builder system. And so now, Nick, why don't you just go ahead and drag me some stops? Nick's going to create a route for me. No, Nick's going to give them all to me.
Yep.
Okay, Nick. One more thing here. Why don't you show them a quick drag and drop?
Yeah, so this is just creating an order from thin air from your all locations list. So we'll do Cleveland West. Let's just do City Mart. Throw that in there.
Okay. Now,
Publish
as I
routes.
was saying earlier in this webinar, when as soon as you do a drag and drop, it creates an order ID just like any other order. When you saw me earlier, we were actually doing an order entry and going through that whole process of hot shot and whatever. The drag and drop is a real quick way for you just to throw one on there. Okay, and you'll see there's the order ID. And just like any other order, you click on it, takes you right into the order maintenance for that particular order. Okay, great. All right, Nick, did we miss anything as far as the different orders?
I'm going to turn back to the slides right now just to kind of, we showed a lot there. The biggest thing that we just really want to showcase is the flow of that order, right? So it
Mhm.
goes from office dispatch and every note that you have in there for your drivers. We attach merchandisers, the different products we selected on the customer are all flowing right to the driver to the sale, and then it just comes back into your system, and that's all of our different reports. That's everything that you're going to be able to access on a daily basis. So clean data, clean orders creates that clean database for you guys.
Mhm. Yeah. All right.
We kind of ran through these live examples, but we're going to show them now Tony, if you want to open up your delivery app and just
Yeah,
show that
before,
last flow.
hey Nick, before we do that, can you flip back over to Cool Running?
Yep.
This was not on the slides, but I just thought of it that it's important for people to be able to also reporting. Okay, so there are reports in your system, so you can see what's coming. So click on reports, Nick. Specifically, the ice chest stuff. This is the stuff that I think is extremely important. Like you can go inside here and say, click down there, order merchandisers by location, Nick, and just run it. Now, obviously, I do not have a lot going on here, but what this is going to do, if you're a company that actually does a lot of merchandiser drop-offs, okay, if you put the orders in with the merchandisers on them, on that particular order and the pickup date and all that stuff, like I did with this West Side Irish American, you're going to see every week all the way through the future and exactly what orders you have coming and what assets you're going to need on those particular orders. I think this is a very, very valuable tool. Okay. When I had my company, this is exactly what I did weekly. Um, my my family member wasn't real big on the computer, but I would print off a list of all the orders that were coming in for the week. And I'd hand it off to him and said, this is what I need for assets ready on these particular days. Okay, so this is very, very valuable. Okay, so it'll give you a heads up on what equipment that you need. Another one in this system, and also go to reports, Nick, and show the other one. And this isn't going to give you the full picture, but show order summary by week. Little different from the other one. This shows you how much of each asset you need for a particular week to satisfy the week without actually looking at all the orders. Finally, one more thing here, Nick, go to reports and go to orders. Yeah,
Go to
go to the
orders.
orders tab.
Yep.
Yeah, order summary by date range. Okay, so yeah, so what's it, 416? Yeah, go ahead and run that. So this here is telling me an order summary for the date range. It's telling me everything that's coming in, whether it's getting an ice chest or not. You want to see what's coming for that particular week, or even for a particular zone. You saw it had a zone filter on there, where you can see like what orders have I got coming in from this zone, ice chest or not, what's coming. And this gives you a rundown of everything that you have coming, so you can prepare. Okay, so now I'm going to actually go in and I'm going to show you what the driver's experience is for these particular orders. Okay, so Nick, I'm just going to share.
I'm gonna unshare you.
Okay. All right, great. Okay, so Nick created a route for me, and like I was saying, I want to show the driver experience of what they're going to see. So I'm going to go to my routes, and there's the route that I created. No name on it. I'm going to start this route. Okay, so we got these different orders in the system right here. That first one there was a hot shot. Oh, see these
That was a
icons?
sensor.
Yeah, the sensor. Okay, so you actually have sensors on them right there. If I tap on it, there's that default order note that popped up, the new order note. I can see what's on the site right there. Okay, so scrolling down right here, you'll see here, obviously I've got these icons indicating there's ordered items on particular orders. There's notes on particular orders. By the way, the reason why this thing is pink is because it's telling me I don't have the inventory in the truck to satisfy that order. Okay, that's another feature that we add in the app. So let me jump right
Tony,
into,
can I jump in real
yeah, go
quick?
ahead, please.
Just as far as the sensors go, having that sensor data on the actual driver's notes, I know from experience as a driver, pulling up to a stop and I can look at that note and say, okay, they're at 20% or they're at zero. I don't necessarily have to go in and waste that time to go check the box, right? So this is what we're basically saying is, the more detailed we can be, the more efficient we can be on the back end of that for drivers. And I know that definitely helped me a lot when I was on the road.
Mhm. Great. Okay, so let's. I think the first one I'd like to do is I'm going to do Taste of Excellence Catering. This is the one that's going to Nick's house. So this is the caterer. He says, "Hey, I need you to send ice over to Nick's house because he's having a big party." So I'm going to tap on it. Okay, there's that deliver to Nick, and nope, hits him right away. Okay, notes are really important with these drivers. Now you see right there, there's an indicator up there showing that no delivery location has orders in place, alternate address. So it's telling the driver right there. And you can see right there, Nick is loaded. Nick's house is right there. Okay, so if I tap on this, it'll deliver right to Nick's house. Okay, so I'm just going to hit make delivery. And it's telling me right now I'm not there right now because it's geocoded around his address. That's fine. So you'll see here that's been prepaid. So now all the driver's got to do is say, okay, select it. And you can see right there, all he's got to do is check off what items he has. So if there's multiple items, he's just got to check them off. Complete it, done. And anytime there's a prepay, it's going to make me sign it. Okay, so that's the first one, done. So let's now jump into the one with the West Side Irish American Club. This is the one that I just kind of hit it with everything. This is everything from order entry, products, merchandiser, everything. This is the dispatcher put everything in about this particular order. And when that day came and it got dispatched, it's got everything on it already. All the driver's got to do is follow the handheld. So I'm going to tap on it. Again, there's that note. So I'm going to hit make delivery. Yes. And you'll see here, there's the ordered quantities, and it's getting an ice chest. There's everything on it. Now, of course, I can edit it, do whatever I got to do right here, but I'm going to hit complete delivery, and the handheld is going to stop me dead in my tracks because we have to address the merchandiser. It says proceed to asset drop off because the person who put the order in put an asset on there. It says it knows we need to drop off at least one asset. Proceed to asset drop off. So now we can specify, well, what are we dropping off? Well, um, and this is where you can use the barcode scanner. And I actually brought a little barcode, a little thing right here. There's the one I'm dropping off. I could have just picked it from the list. Okay, she's gonna have to wait. Um, I'm saying it's an outdoors, and there's that pickup date. Okay, the dispatcher put it in because they knew right away we're not relying on the driver to do this. We already know what the pickup date is. So okay, add. So that's done, completed. I can put in maintenance if I want to, but I don't want to. And you saw it had the PO number on there. Sign it. Now, if you wanted to, and this is an extra option in the system, you can snap a photo if you want. And that'll attach to the sale. All right, so that one's done. So these other ones here, I think I'll just, Nick, do you think I need to show any of these other ones here?
They're pretty standard.
Yeah, the rest of them are pretty standard. We kind of went over the prepaid sale, but I'll just run through one real fast. Okay, and this goes back to is if you put the order in entry for the drivers and you put it in there properly, um, how easy their job can be. So 100 bomb, yep, confirm, yes, select it, prepay, complete, done. I like to do that to show that I'm still pretty fast at this. Okay, so Nick, so this has been done. That order has been completed. So Nick, why don't you flip back over and show what happened inside the route builder?
Okay.
Do I have to stop sharing my stop sharing?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so Nick, go ahead back into the route.
Good. You guys can see that.
Okay, so you can see obviously the people who know the system knows right away that everything's been crossed off and completed. But what I want to draw attention to is the ice chest. Go ahead and show the West Side Irish American. Click on West Side Irish American. Okay, click over there on the right. Click on the customer, Nick. West Side Irish American. You look on the merchandisers. There it is. That ice chest has been dropped off, and the pickup date's right there. So now let's go to RouteBuilder and look at the pickup. Change the date to the pickup date. Now over here on the left, you'll see under the overdue merchandisers, there it is. Okay, this is how you stop losing your boxes. If you start at the order entry process and make sure if a box is going to get delivered, there's an order for it. Say it's getting an ice chest. The driver gets out there, he makes the invoice, it walks him right through it. The pickup date goes in, and then if they do this properly, the ice chest is going to sit there forever until you actually have to do the actual pickup of the merchandiser. Okay. So Nick, anything I missed on that?
No, no, we can kind of open it up now. We did have one question. I think you covered it though
Okay.
in with POs, dealing with POs.
Okay.
Basically, Yes, it'll run all the way through. If you're entering in a PO, you'll be able to get that printed on the ticket
Yep.
that the driver prints out. So I guess from here, I kind of forgot to mention when we were starting this off, if you had a question to type it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself too if you guys want to like call in and do it that way. But we're going to kind of open it up. If you guys have questions about, first of all, order entry, and then we can kind of branch off if we need to here.
And also, I want to add that if anybody, obviously, if you don't feel like asking a question here, and if you want to reach out after, feel free to shoot me an email or something like that, and ask a question that way. Or if you want some personal time, I can either have Nick or myself actually get on a call with you and go through the particular, because we threw a lot at you today, especially with we have some of my new clients we saw are in on this webinar today. This is all things that we're going to be going over in the future for them. And I have a lot of veterans here that really know a lot about the system already.
One thing as well too that I wanted to mention about questions or anything like that, like we posted the last webinar publicly. We're gonna do the same thing with this one. If you guys are watching it and have a question, you guys can even comment on the YouTube. As okay, we'll answer back, and then that serves as a resource for anyone else who's going to go through this and be trying to learn the same thing.
Mhm.
Um, we have the luxury of dealing with so many ice companies around the country, around the globe. You guys are dealing with a lot of the same problems, so that could help out others as well.
Yeah. And believe it or not,
We do have
customers
a question.
customers are exactly the same in South Africa and Australia as they are here. So it's pretty standard, guys. There was a question I just saw in there, Nick, about the accuracy of the sensors.
Yeah, so I'll read it out loud. How often do the sensors in Cool Running update from their original website? How accurate are they if my driver looks at it at 7 a.m. in the morning?
Okay. The sensors up, Cool Running, we have an integration with all the different sensors in the market. And our API pull is every hour. Every hour it pulls in the new sensor reading. Okay. As far as accuracy, I'll speak from personal experience on this because I was very big on using sensors at my ice company. I had about 330 of them. Um, and the I would say as far as accuracy, I would say between 5 to 10% plus or minus. And the thing is about the sensors, I mean, the sensors give you a good idea of where they're at. Okay. Um, as far as how full they are. Obviously, they're not going to say this is exactly what they are, but it gives you an idea that they're pretty dang low. Or more importantly, if a customer calls up and says, "Hey, I'm out of ice," and you know dang well they're not. I mean, you're looking at the sensor and say, "Oh, that sensor's hitting something," because you're definitely not out of ice. Okay. Another question came in, Nick.
Yeah. So he asked if we can just show the invoice ticket for the PO that we did during the call. So I can switch screens
Sure.
and show that. So that's going to be on the sale.
Hmm. We talking about the West Side Irish American one?
Yeah, I think that one
Yep,
has the
that was the
PO
one, right?
attached.
You can go into sale maintenance on it.
Yeah.
Actually, why don't
Oh,
you
go
go?
into
You
sale
can actually
maintenance
why
or
don't you can actually go right into the West Side Irish American and go to the sales. We didn't even
yeah,
really go over that.
that's what I was going to do. Yeah.
Perfect. You click right on the invoice number. We kind of took the long route. We did that to show you that you can access it from that
There's the
area.
PO
Yep.
right there.
Yeah, but pull out the printed, bring up the PDF copy.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Will it not in the download because it's going into sales maintenance there because it's already
Yeah, but hit continue. Well, yeah, click on the
yeah,
PDF.
I can click that. Yeah. I'll have to share. There it is right there.
Yep.
You guys can see that part of the screen.
Hmm.
Okay.
Another
PO
go.
number.
Yeah, pretty good question from Abigail there that just came in. Remove from routes. Go into your route builder, Nick, and I want you to remove some stops from the route. Yeah, this is a good question because this is something here that happens sometimes.
Cancel.
Yep. All right, guys. So what that just did right there, without having to go to order maintenance or anything like that, if you have a stop that you know you're not going to be doing this particular week, you can just click and drag it right into that box right there and it removes it. Go ahead and do one more, Nick. Now, let's say you screwed up and you're like, oh crap, I did not mean to remove that order. Nick, go ahead and restore it. There is a way to bring it back. You go to Tools, Restore Canceled
Restore. Yeah.
Orders. There they are right there. Bring them back. And that those go right back into the order filter over there on the left. If you do a little refresh, Nick, they're probably already there. There they are, and
Yeah.
right back into redispatching it. Abigail, I hope that was a question that you were asking. I think that's what you were asking. But that's a really nice tool, especially like when you're working in your winter and stuff like that, and you've created all these auto scheduled routes and you're individually going to each one and you're checking them on, is it really worth going there this week? So you can go right down the list, do a quick double click, check the sales history of the stop and say like, well, what have they been doing? And then you notice that the last couple of weeks or even the previous year, it took weeks before they needed ice and they just don't need it. Real quick and drag, just click and drag and kill the sale, kill the order. Then it's no more longer your list.
This is also good too. It's showing there's one location that's routed more than once. So if there was two orders that were in that we just dragged and dropped in, it's telling us that there's two orders for the same location
Okay.
that are on this route.
Hey Nick, look at that question for Abigail from Abigail again, please.
Okay, you want me to read it?
Yeah,
Okay. The first one or second one?
second one.
Okay. I meant when you are making an order in Cool Running, you go into the third tab, which is ordered items. There's an option to select yes or no for remove from routes.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So what that does is it makes it so that it kind of shows up as a pickup. Okay, so it's not actually going to be in your route builder screen.
I had one individual chat. Do you want to just shout out where to get sensors again?
Okay. Nick, why don't you bring him to the Cool Running Software page and show the integrations. So if you guys go to the coolrunningsoftware.com webpage, you'll see on here that it references the different sensors that we're integrated with. And so as far as IceQ, Modern Ice sells the IceQ product. So if you reach out to your Modern Ice rep, you can get that. Route Ice, that's actually sold by the RouteMan software system. And then finally, Air Data is actually sold through automatic ice systems. They can put you in contact with the right person for that. And if anybody's going to ask me which one's better, I kind of stay neutral on that. I integrate with all of them. But if you click on each one, we've asked each one of them for information about their company. And if you click on one of those, this is information that came from them that it gives you a little bit of background on them before you actually give them a phone call and to see what you want to try.
Yeah, and one note on that is we have customers that miss it, like they mix and match them. They try out one brand here, they try out another. They can all just be integrated into the software as if as if it's just one big brand.
Mhm.
Looking into Cool Running.
Yeah. Yeah, for those of you thinking about sensors, I mean, I'm a big believer in them. And Nick, reference the blog again about the sensors.
Mhm.
We Nick and I'm gonna talk about Nick again. Nick has been very big on writing up these blog posts for information for you all. But this one right here, this here is from my personal experience of using sensors, and there's these 5 different points that I bring up, and things that a lot of companies don't even think about when they're thinking about putting sensors in on the value of putting these in. So if you're looking for something to help you get to sleep at night, go ahead and pull this up and read it, and I think it can give you some good insights. I mean, there's a lot of other things on there in the blog post that can give you information as well.
You can always put it into AI and say, summarize this for me. But we want to give as much detail as possible on these. So, you guys have as much detail to make decisions and know the software to the best of its ability. I don't think we have any other questions coming in here.
All right, great. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody for sitting through this, and I hope it brought some value to a lot of you all. May hopefully, if you saw something new, then it was worth your time. Okay.
Yeah.
So again,
And
if anybody has any specific questions and you're shy and you want to talk to me personally or Nick, uh, please feel free to reach out. That's we're here to help and try and help you use everything you possibly can in the system. And I know I keep saying this, different company referencing different companies out there, but I have a lot of companies out there that just, once they get to the point of using a couple of things in the system and their life is better, they stop learning and they don't realize there's actually other tools in the system that are there to help. And that's what all the blog posts and the webinars and all this stuff is about, to try and help everybody become better at using the software to make their lives a little bit easier.
one thing on the recording on this, it's going to be available publicly tomorrow on YouTube. We'll send an email to everyone who signed up for this to make sure you guys get that. And then as you guys head into the summer, follow us on social media. We're going to try and be pretty active there. Just sending out announcements that you guys are going to get, but it's a second place to see them, second place to interact with us. Um, so yeah, that's it's pretty much the end of the webinar. We thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you guys for everyone who attended all of them this off season, and we look forward. We're gonna start this back up in the fall of next year.
Yeah.
So if you guys got some value out of
Good
it,
luck everybody in the summer, and hopefully it's nice and warm and you're not too stressed out. And again, feel free to reach out. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody.
yeah, thank you guys.
Bye bye.